WNBA.
Full court, we roll, game on, take control. Full court, we roll, game on, take control. Randy in the mix, you know it's a fix. Coach Ed rips, strategies to blitz. Man cave vibes, never throwing it down. Fast breaks and swerves, rhythms in town. City lights shining, crowd on the rise. East Coast beat, feel the verse surprise. Dribbling dreams, hustle hard, no regrets. Welcome to the court, it's your move, place bets. Neck diff, Randy got the crowd so hyped. Coach that guy and every play's in sight. From the block to the three, every shot's on point. Man cave energy, we ain't gonna disappoint.
All that I know, prison, I'm still tipsy and you better use it. Until we get problematic and lights are wide across to break my love.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to episode 13 of the Full Court Press Show. Here today on the Aboriginal Sports Network, the Hardcore Sports Network, here with my brother, the Man Cave, as well as I, Coach Ed Gladney, ready to bring you a great show today. A lot to talk about with the WNBA. Preseason has already started. There's a lot going on that we're going to dive into. So really excited for today's show. But before I get into that, I'm going to check in with my brother, Man Cave. Bro, how you doing today?
Man, what's good, Coach, man? I'm doing fine, man. Can't wait. WNBA season is right around the corner. Been watching some preseason game already, man. And yo, they already in season 4, man. I mean, I think I was watching one of the Aces game. I mean, it was already got like 100 points. I'm like, man, they on it, bro. So these girls are ready, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited, man. And like I said, man, I know they got the new expansion team coming in, man. So, you know, we'll see. Next year, it's supposed to be 2 more teams coming in next year. So we'll see. But for right now, hey, man, let's get it going with these girls, man. And like I said, it's going to be a great WNBA season, man. Actually, it's a historic season should be coming up. Last year was a historic one. This one's going to be even better.
Exactly. I'm with you there. So definitely going to get into everything. But let's tap into the chat real quick. Daniel Berry, thanks for tapping in, bro. As always, man, you really, I really appreciate you always being here and supporting everything that we do. So, also, everyone, make sure you guys hit the like button on today's episode. Hit it on the Man Cave's channel, my channel. Help get this into the algorithm and keep growing the channel. Make sure you hit it on the Aboriginal Sports Network as well as on the Hardcore Sports Network. We appreciate it. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us out immensely. Make sure you also subscribe and hit the notification so you know when we post new content. And everyone, share on all your social media platforms, man. That really also helps getting it out there. So thank you, we appreciate it. So, but let's really get into the talk, and let's start with the #1 overall draft pick, Paige Bueckers. So. She previously played against was the Aces, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was the Aces.
Yeah, it was the Aces. But thoughts on her performance? I mean, she had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 fouls in about 23 minutes. What was your thoughts on how she performed this past weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I expected her, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of what I kind of expected, you know, her first game, you know, preseason game and stuff like that, you know, getting her feet wet, you know, try to learn the flow. And like I said, what a better way to start off than playing against the Aces, you know what I'm saying? So it was a big test up front, you know, star-studded, man, on both sides, you know what I'm saying, for the Aces and the Wings and stuff like that. And like I said, she didn't try to do too much, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Arika is the the player on the team for right now. So, she's going to be a great co-star, and then eventually she'll do her thing too and stuff like that. But I think she played within the flow. She didn't try to be too, how can I say, she didn't try to take over too much or try to force the issue, or, you know what I'm saying? And she just let the game come to herself and stuff like that. And just, to watch the flow of the game and stuff like that, see how it's going to go. It was a great game, you know what I'm saying? Of course, they didn't win, but, it's more things to come, though, and stuff like that. I'm just trying to see how that backcourt is going to be. They got a lot of talent in that backcourt, man. That's going to be, like I said, like I told you earlier in the last week, man, that's going to be the strength of their team is that backcourt.
What's up, Dave? Man, thanks for tapping in. Really appreciate you, man. So, no, but I agree with you, man. They have a lot of talent. I was reading what the head coach told her. He basically told her, just play and just stay in the game, focus on the here and now. Don't focus on anything else. And that was some excellent advice, man, to tell her, stay in the moment. So, don't get too far ahead of yourself, because it can become overwhelming. I thought that was Leaf. Yeah, there's Leaf. What's up, Leaf? How you doing, bro?
Salute.
Leaf, how you doing?
What?
You're mute.
There you go. My bad. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on?
Good, bro. What's good?
So don't worry. Always, man. You're part of the family. Don't worry about it. So, but right now we're talking about Paige Bueckers and her debut. And what I was saying was, what the head coach had told her is just basically stay in the moment. Don't think about the future. Don't think about anything else. Just stay right where it is and basically enjoy yourself. And that's some great advice, especially to young talent coming in the league. And I could tell she was trying to feel herself in the speed of the game, trying to figure out the screens because it's different than being in college. Those are some of the things that she talked about. So, I felt, it's against the Aces, and, it's to be expected. It's going to be a challenge, but welcome to the WNBA. I think she, handled herself well. So, Leaf, what's your thoughts on her debut?
That's it exactly. I thought she was like looking for to see what she can get off. It's pretty interesting, like the transition from college a couple of weeks prior and winning and winning a national championship and then going into the league like just 1, 2, 3 weeks later. Like that's kind of a transition. You're going right to the program just like that. So I think off the ball, she still her game has translated. And I think her game will continue to translate as long as she goes forward. In terms of scoring off the ball, off the catch, taking advantage of those opportunities, those scoring opportunities. She was looking for offense. Defensively, I think that's definitely going to come along because the speed of the game and who she could guard and matchups, this, that, and the third. Adjusting to the physicality, because they, this is the WNBA. They're gonna bump you. They're gonna get you in spots, man. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I thought she played well. What was it? 5 for 7 shooting, 10 points, 3 assists, I think it was. She did all right. I had to look at that game a couple of times, and I had to realize a lot of the spots that she was getting into in college a little bit different in the WNBA, but I think she will adjust.
No, I agree with you. She will definitely adjust, and like you said, the vets are going to welcome her to the WNBA in their own way. I think she had a nice little welcome from Aja early in the game, so not Aja's going to welcome a lot of people. So but again, she did well, and like Cave, just like you said, Dallas has to fine tune and figure out the backcourt, and who's going to be the lead guard, who's going to be the off guard, who's better suited for it, and I think it'll help her develop. And then I also think if they can truly develop the pick and roll with McCallum, that can definitely help them going a long way. So, I definitely thought, she handled herself well, and it's Dallas is going to with through time. I think they're going to develop a good program there. So, but again, like I said, Paige, definitely handled herself there. So, Nick said, who would you guys like to say is the best WNBA player currently? Aja, Brianna Stewart. You can't forget what's her name with Dallas too. So, I mean, not Dallas, but
Rika.
No,
Nafisa.
Nafisa Collier.
Yeah, Nafisa. I think Nafisa is the second best player in the league.
Yeah, but he said who's the best. So
Asia is the best.
Asia is the best, but I think Nafisa is right behind her. I think Stewie took a step back. Just to answer your question, Nick. I think Stewie took a step back from the previous year when she eventually won MVP. But I got Nafisa. I got Asia number 1. I got Nafisa number 2, and I put Stewie number 3 right now.
That's fair. I think most of us would agree with that. I do too. Look, that's hard for me to say, especially with Stewie, because I'm a Liberty fan. But that Aja, just her game is just at times at another level. Even for her own team. And then Nafisa, yeah, I mean, what she was doing, what she did for Minnesota last year, even in the Unrivaled, you saw her game is elevating. So it's definitely, I agree with that assessment. So what about you, Cave? I mean, do you agree with that, or do you have it a different way?
No, I mean, I totally agree. Asia is the best player in the WNBA. She showed it year in and year out, man. Like I said, she's like a double machine, man. I mean, her points just come so easy. And like I said, the number one thing with her, she's active and she has a motor. That's the number one thing with her. She's relentless, man. So when you always have that, man, that's a God-given talent, man. Energy, relentless, and motor. Can't teach that, man. So, and like I said, any game, like I said, she's gonna make an impact. You know what I'm saying? If you're playing against Asia Wilson, you know what I'm saying, she ain't gonna be like a no-show in them games. She's gonna show up in the big games, man. So she's the last person that I don't even have to worry about. And she is the best player, man. You know what I'm saying? So I totally agree.
I agree with you. Nick, you asked us the question. Who would you say is the best player since you posed it to us? So put it in the chat, and everyone else in the chat. Who do you think is the best player in the WNBA? I mean, do you have someone else that, you think we're overlooking? We don't think so, but hey, you're entitled to your opinion. So, again, so everyone, make sure you put it in the chat. Thanks a lot, man. So, but my two brothers here also do some great, contribute some great takes too. So, but thanks a lot, Nick. Nothing but love and respect, man. So,
and one more thing with Asia started a new trend with the with the one leg thing. Now she got everybody emulating her. I know some people say Angel Reese is like Angel got it from Asia because Asia was first. You seen that, and now you look in college basketball, you see it all around women's colleges. Like, look at everybody doing the thing. She's starting a trend, man.
Exactly. Hey, and hey, she also has some great fashion taste, man. I mean, I do wait for pre-games to. It's not. I know her look. It's really her fit. I'm sitting there, even when she comes in with just a sweaty and a tee or something like that. I'm like, yo, she definitely got style, man. So
I'm gonna say the fashion gurus of the WNBA is definitely the LA Sparks girls, man. They caught me. They done got me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna have to do a couple of games. Ray Burrell, Kid Jackson, bro. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do a couple of them games. I know I'm gonna tap into Liberty as always, but I'm gonna have to do me some LA Sparks games. I'm gonna have to get that on the list.
Yeah, definitely. So Nick says NBA needs to take notes from the WNBA. Less threes, more fundamental basketball, more passing and cutting. Look, I can't agree more with you there because that's one of the reasons why I love the ladies' games, man. I've always said they're more fundamentally sound. The men, they want to shoot threes and get the highlight dunks. The women, they're going to try and get a dunk. They're going to shoot their threes. Don't get me wrong. But they play a lot more fundamentally sound. You watch the screen, you see the movement, a lot of good movement. It's not a lot of one-on-one ISO ball. It's good fundamentals in terms of the basketball. But what about you, Leaf? What's your thoughts about that?
That could happen, but I think that the men's game is like, as far as like perimeter shooting, is leaps and bounds ahead of anything that we've seen in any era.
Well, he says
Obviously,
he thinks it should be less threes and more fundamental basketball with passing and cutting for the men, because you don't see a lot of that. You see either threes, one-on-one.
to speak more on that, it's not a lot of teams, but it's definitely most of the league that you definitely see doing taking a lot of threes. It's a lot of guys that's getting on teams and they just calling their own numbers. It's a lot of ISO, high volume shots, man. You seeing a lot of shots from a lot of these players, from the LaMelo Ball, from the Trey Youngs. They take a lot of high volume shots, man. They're not in systems where they have cutting and fundamental things and running free flow offenses, things like that. It's very few teams that do it. Indiana does it. They run a free flow offense, but they shoot a lot of threes as well. The most efficient half court team in the league right now is Denver. Denver runs that because they have the best mind in basketball, and that's Nikola Jokic. So I mean, you're gonna see that I always say your best player highlights what the rest of your team is going to do. You know what I'm saying? So like that's more of the thing with the threes. So shoot a whole bunch of threes. We ain't gonna get to that 50 shooting threes, Nick. We ain't gonna do that up here. No. I'm not going.
Here's the one thing you did say it. You know, when you were talking about Indiana, it's in their offense, and this is going to be the last thing we're going to talk about the NBA because we want to stay focused on the ladies, everyone. So, but when it's in the system and you run something like you're attacking the lane and the defense crashes and you kick it to a man who's at the three and open, that's a different story. But when they shoot and step back, then hey, that's a different thing. So so it's a different thing. So but again, we're going to leave that right there, and we're going to get back to the ladies. So we were talking about Paige Bueckers. So, and I think we've all addressed that. So,
you're right.
The next thing we're going to move on to is right now they're in the CBA time frame right now. They can opt out. The players can opt out for a new contract, and all indications is that they're going to more than likely do that. I'm expecting them to do that. So, what is your thoughts on the contract situation with the WNBA? Do you think, the executive director, she says she's going to take a more assertive approach in terms of the contract talks? Do you guys think that's concerning? And when I say concerning, that could possibly lead to a strike. So I'll start with you, Cave. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thoughts on that, like I said, I think it got to October 31st to opt out, or that's when it ends. And yeah, man, I totally agree. Like just like Nafisa Kaya, who is I guess the president of the women's thing, she said like this is the time to strike now while the iron is hot. We're going in a great direction. Got the new TV deal and all that stuff. And my whole thing is like, man, when you let like a rival league come in and start outpaying you already. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good look, really. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, the rival league is a great thing for women to stay here, but it's like also for the WNBA to up their salary so more people can afford it. And also, man, like for these ladies, like I said, have more roster spots for these ladies and stop cutting these ladies, man. You know what I'm saying? They need spots, they need position. But yeah, as far as the collective bargain, this is the best time to strike. I mean, this is like their golden era right now, landmark, whatever you want to say, with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Take advantage of the opportunity, man, while everything is hot. And right now, they the stuff right now, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the most I ever heard people talk about women's game at all. It was never really talked about, just the NCAA game. But now you got the professional, man. It's like, I mean, I'm going to say like NBA, but what they got a league pass. I was like, when they come up with a league pass? So when you get a league pass, you already know you're getting big. You know what I'm saying? So keep going, man. Keep going. That's the only way, man. Keep going while the iron is hot, man. Keep it going. And I totally agree with the ladies, man. But I don't think it's gonna be a work stoppage. I think they're gonna agree to a new contract and stuff like that. Because like I said, they're hot right now. And anybody knows anything about a work stoppage, that usually slows down the momentum. Don't slow down the momentum while it's hot. You know what I'm saying? Because then it turns fans off some way, and then they don't come back sometimes. Like, yo, why you got these guys' attention right now? Just keep going.
What about you, Leaf? What's your thoughts on the CBA and what's ahead with it? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think this is the best. This is the best opportunity for this generation of players to really like raise the value to me, because women's basketball is best, as good as it's ever been in this era, both college and the pros. I mean, we a lot of these women are being followed from high school to college and the pros, and it's almost looking like a Baller's Life mixtape. You know what I'm saying? We knew about we knew about we know about a lot of these
Juju.
girls coming into the league. We know about Juju coming into the league. We know about Paige Bueckers coming into the league. We know about going back to CC. We know about Caitlin Clark coming into the league. We know about Angel coming into the league. So this is the era to do it, and this is the time to do it. But I'm glad Nafisa is ahead of that team, that Players Association team, and whoever they got behind them, they really got to crunch down, buckle down to do their job. This is going to be a big moment for women's basketball, man. If they could get this deal done without even having a word stoppage, if they could get the deal done and then up the ante. You got new TV deals, you got new money deals, new money markets, man. It's not a secret why the Indiana Fever is getting 30-something televised games. It's not a secret. So I mean, like with that, they got to figure out a way to capitalize, and they got to figure out a way to capitalize quickly. No, none of that. I need extra money. Like, yo, listen, do it the right way, sit down the right way, conduct business, and move forward and get this ball rolling.
As a former union steward, I totally agree with you guys. You know, the league right now has to be smart. You know, because they can't. You know, which was going into the next part of this conversation. What impact would a strike have, you know, on the growth of the women's game? And a strike would really stop the interest that is growing, you know, because right now your interest is a lot of casuals, and a lot of the casuals are getting into the game. But if you have a strike, then it's going to really turn people off. Yes, as a union, you want to do what's best for your players. You know, owners, you have to see that. You know, when you have issues with travel, you know, where, you know, you have to fly, or you were flying commercial up until last year, where, you know, you now set it up where all the teams can, you know, do things, fly or have private planes to get to their games. And these are things that, you know, need to be collectively bargained and agreed to. But the point I'm making is, yeah, the owners need to understand, you know. And you also, when you look at look, I'm a Liberty fan. I'm going to speak highly of the Liberty, but they're one of the best owners group in the league, man. They're willing to do whatever they need to do for their players, building a new practice facility, top of the line practice facility. And then, Cave, you just said it, you know, you have the Unrivaled with what they're doing. They're coming in right now. 1 year for a rookie is more than 4 years of their salary in the WNBA. So yeah, you have to step it up, because the Unrivaled, they're looking to continue to grow. And you guys, I'm talking about the WNBA. You have to be smart. Now you have the advantage over them. You have years. You're getting corporate sponsors behind you. You know, you can't be, in a sense, greedy and say you're going to hoard everything. You know, yeah, this is partly with the players. If it wasn't for the players, you wouldn't be able to get the money that you're getting. So you want to, you know what, sit down at the table, do something that's fair for both sides. That's the one thing I will say. I don't want to see an advantage for one side over the other. It has to be fair, because in the end, we're your consumer base. We want to see this.
Right.
We want to go to the games. We want to buy the merchandising. You know, we want to have shows like this and continue to grow and grow and grow. You know, but you know, if you end up going on strike, you know, you're also going to open the door for the Unrivaled, because they're going to just instantly jump in and they're gonna end up getting they're going to take advantage of this situation. So, all right, have a good one, Nick.
Definitely, Coach. I agree with that for sure. As disgusted as I am that the Sa family is leading the Liberty and putting the Nets in shitter. I'll be honest with you, bro. I definitely got to give props to Mrs. Sa. They've done a wonderful job with that team. They've done a wonderful job with everything business oriented in terms of the new practice facility. The greatest moment in Barclays Center's history already. Bar none. We only been here 12, 13, going on 13 years. So I mean, I definitely got to give props to them. Although I'm disgusted at what's going on with the Nets, and I'm going to be even more disgusted on Monday. I'm just glad it comes after Mother's Day because I don't want to be disappointed.
Yes, yeah. So, and you know what? One of the things, if they're smart, they will look at what the Unrivaled did. You know, because one of the things that I loved hearing about with the Unrivaled is the women who have children can come to the game, and you have a daycare right there, so they don't have to worry about, you know, you bring your child. Right. Yeah, you have that. You don't have to pay for, you know, some type of childcare, you know, because, you know, look, they're not. Some of them are not multi-millionaires. You know, some of them are, you know, 70,000, 50,000. So, you know, if they have a child and, you know, if it's just them by themselves, look, man, you gotta, you know, help them out. But now if you have a daycare right in the facility, even when they have practices, they can drop them off at the daycare. That's something that, you know what, every team in the league should be, you know, should have access to. And that's something that I think, you know, needs to be put on the table and talked about, you know, for everyone going forward. So, you know, but again, you know, if the league is smart, they're going to sit back and they're going to look at, you know, every aspect. Look, what did the Unrivaled do? I mean, they're your competitors. What did they do better? They may have come up with something that's better than what you were doing. So, and a smart business would say, you know what? That's smart. Let's see what we can do to incorporate it into what we're doing. So, you know, but hopefully, you know, the CBA, you know, they'll hammer that out and they'll be able to move forward, and we can continue to watch these lovely ladies go out there and play some great basketball. So, but, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say in that CBA talk, man, I hope they come up with something, man, for, you know, the WNBA is one of their darkest secrets, you know, which is a sore spot. It's like these women, when they get maternity leave, they get shunned upon, and they need to stop that. We're in 2025 now. I don't think somebody should be retaliated against, and just because they're having a child or something like that, you know, by the team. You know what I'm saying? Like the WNBA team and stuff like that. Because like women are like, you know what I'm saying? They're scared to get pregnant because like, you know, they're like, you know, my season could be over or something like that. Or my team, you know, like the thing with the aces and all that stuff that happened. I don't want to go into it, but it's just like, I mean, you've been in, I mean, this is a league that's been in existence for over 20 some years. You should have been addressed that a long time ago. And I hope they address that in this collective bargaining agreement and go forward. Like I said, just like you talk about the rival league, they got all stuff going on. The WNBA they should have been done this a long time ago. So that's all I'm saying with that.
Exactly. So, well, if we don't have anything else with the CBA talk, let's move on and let's talk about some early player cuts. You know, there were some early cuts. One of them that was really surprising, you know, that, you know, just caught me off guard. But just bear with me. I'm going to bring up.
Caught everybody off guard.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring you the transaction. Let me know if you guys see it.
Yep.
Okay, so this is up to date as of yesterday. So you know, you see what Dallas did when they picked up the option on Maddie Seagards. But here's players that are Ariana Vonleh, Jordan Hobbs was waived by Seattle, Madison Connor by Seattle, and then which, you know, we were, you know, Cave and I were talking about it. She was just cut. Here it is. Cheyenne Sellers, who was just drafted by the Valkyries in the second round, who a lot of us thought she would go in the first round, but she went in the second round, and we said, you know, her going there, you know, was a great opportunity. You know, a new franchise, so she would get, you know, a great opportunity to make the team, and there you go. She gets waived, you know, but to her advantage, she gets picked up and picked up by the Dallas Dream. Now, I mean, it's the Atlanta Dream, but
Mm-hmm.
while it's another opportunity for her, they that Atlanta has 8 players, I believe, that are protected between veterans and rookies, and then you have 4 spots that are being fought for. So now, being that they did pick her up, it might be a great opportunity for her. But what's your guys' thoughts on Cheyenne Sellers? First of all, getting cut by the Valkyries and then getting picked up by the Atlanta Dream.
I was a bit confused because the coach that
Hmm.
made the final cut, she had said and quoted, "We thought she did everything well. We thought she did
Hmm.
everything that we asked, but we're not looking for the 12 talented players. We're looking for the best fit or
Fit,
whatever the
yes.
case may be." And
Hmm.
I'm thinking to
Mm-hmm.
myself, this team just got created like uh, uh, 18 days ago. Like
Hmm.
like fit ain't what you need to be looking for. You need to be looking for talent that you can move forward with and figure out what to put around them. The thing is,
Hmm.
when you're an expansion team, you have to look for the most talent. You can't do what the
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver Grizzlies. You got to do what the Vancouver Grizzlies did and figure out how to build around that. When they got Sharif Abdul-Rahim and Brian
Hmm.
Reeves and
Mm-hmm.
those type of guys, you can't just all right, yo. This is supposed to be a top pick. The young lady that was playing for the Yukon team, she didn't even know she was getting drafted. She was only
Hmm.
there to support Paige Bueckers. And
Hmm.
I have to remember that over in Silicon Valley, where they have most of their fan bases of Asian descent, so that was kind of it was kind of
Mm-hmm.
optics.
And
It's looking like an optics thing over there in Golden State already, and it's not really.
Right.
It's looking like they're doing more of a all right. Let's do some crowd control. Let's bring in a fan base. Let's do this. Let's
hmm
do that. Let's bring in people that that they can get around no matter if they're good or not. You still got to get the best talent that you can get before you even get a fit to anything because you don't have no identity. In order to get a fit, you got to have
hmm
a goddamn identity. And the
Right.
Golden State Valkyries don't have that. So that excuse or that quote that the coach made, that was a little bit of a head scratcher to me, man. Cave, what you think? Man? I don't know.
Man, it was everything you just echo, man. That's the same sentiment. I was just surprised. Cheyenne Sell is one of the better players in college basketball when she was with Diamond.
hmm
At
Diamond Miller.
Diamond
Diamond
Miller
Miller.
at Maryland and stuff like that. I love watching that team. You know what I'm saying? That she was like the engine, with Diamond Miller. It was them two, that had it going and stuff like that. And I was surprised. And I don't know if it's a knee injury or something like that. If that's what it was, just say it. But I mean, just like what Lee said, they say she did everything and she said her knee is fine. So I don't get it. But like I said, see, these are the type of things that happen to these type of teams. That's just these expansion teams, and that's why they're stuck in the mud for a while because they keep giving up talent. And they talking about a fit for what? What do you want to be, a running team? You want to be a physical team? Nobody knows what your style is. I mean, we'll get to see it, but looking on paper, you don't have that much talent to begin with, and then you do get some players that's talented, and you get rid of them. It's like, yeah, that don't make a lot of sense, you
I
know.
agree with you guys. I mean, as a coach, I understand in terms of fit if you already have an existing organization. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
just literally a week into the process, and I understand you have to make decisions quickly, you have to have a little foresight into the future. And yes, is if it's like you said, if it's the injury, what rules are in place, that you could stash her, or is there something that you can do to put her on injury reserve right off the bat, even if it means you have to sit her for the whole year. What do you have to do? But when you're saying fit, and I said the same thing as Leaf, well, you guys only had a week into training camp. What kind of fit? How can you sit here and know if you have a fit with literally a week into training camp? So it's hard for me to back up the coaching staff and the organization because you're brand new. It's not the Liberty. It's not the Atlanta. Heck, it's not Phoenix. It's not Dallas. There, I could say, even with a new coaching staff, I could still say I can understand that because you have veteran players who have been there. You're brand new. You just grab players from all over the league, and then you just drafted players, and now you're trying to put them together, and you're cutting a talented player. And you know what? You better hope it doesn't come back to bite you in the hind part, because I'm with Cave, man. I've seen Sellers play, and when she's on, she's one of the best in the game. So hey, good kudos to Atlanta. Hopefully she can make the Dreams roster, and she can go out there and really show the Valkyries, you made a big mistake in letting me go. So
the only way I see them doing, the reason why they would do this to me is that this has to be a tanking process, because what's coming out like
right.
this has to be. There's no
to
other
get that number one pick to get that
this
number.
This has to be a tanking process going for next year. Okay, we just put a team together. We don't know what we have. Okay, we got a young lady, but we don't think she we might win one game too many, and we might not have the number one pick, and this, that, the third. Kind of the same garbage that we did when we were supposed to tank, but we didn't. So organizations is known for dropping the ball when it comes to these things, when it comes to these situations. And I think that maybe the Valkyries are going in the direction like, let's make sure we get the number one pick. Bar none.
And hopefully Juju just comes out. Hopefully Juju come out and get the number one pick and keep her home.
Yeah, well, it has to be that. It has to be that case. There's no other excuse for this. There's none. There's no other excuse for this. None.
There's
at all.
No other logical that we can. Yeah.
We have. This has to be optics and going optics for the future. This has to be.
Mm-hmm. Now there is one player on this right here that as a personal note, I was just like disappointed. JoJo Lacey, who was waived by the Mystics. She played at Rutgers, so that's near and dear to my heart. But I get it. I understand the numbers game and what she brings to the table. So it is what it is. So but if we go through and take a look at another one from Rutgers is Arilla Garantes. I thought and she's a veteran player. I know she's played at LA and she's been around the league and internationally. So, I was hoping she would have made the Sky, but, I get it, so, there it goes. So for our Liberty, Caitlin Davis, I was just like, okay, I kind of figured it was going to be hard for her to make the roster. So,
it's going to be very hard for her to make the roster.
Exactly, but I'm going through any players that caught you guys' eyes right now.
I mean, the only one to me is Cheyenne. Really, you know what I'm saying. The other names, Bria Hall. I was like, Bria looked like she looked like she just been getting a raw deal like the last couple of years. I don't even know, man.
Bria Hall looked like she been. Bria. I'm like, man, that girl played for a great team in South Carolina, and she looked like she been getting a raw deal. But the Cheyenne Sellers, that I stood on that for a while because I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the reasoning. This has to be optics because that was the one that stood out to me, bro. I think all the other ones, I think the rosters is kind of filled for the Sparks, obviously the Liberty, Atlanta. They look like they wanted to get some players, so they got Cheyenne Sellers while she was on waivers. So I mean, that's still a thing. So I mean, hopefully she'll thrive over there and be a part of that team and what they're doing. And I'm hoping the best for her. But the Sparks and the Liberty and the Aces, none of the cuts really surprised me. I mean, they look like they all got their teams from at least 1 through 9 set. Especially Liberty with everything that we've done. I think it's no other room for anybody else on this team. Right. We'll sit to the next year. So, and we got Lainey Hamilton coming back. So I mean.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing too with teams, because in the league you can sign either 11 or 12 players, and it affects your money, like your salary cap. So based on that, also that's another factor too. So sometimes with these other teams, I'm not talking about the Valkyries because they're brand new. But I pay attention to that too. Like last year I think we had for most of the season 11 players, while everyone else had 12. And that's because if you look at the top of our roster between Stewie, Sabrina, and John Quill, they make a lot of money. And you also had what's her name, Courtney, they were all making a lot of
Anderson.
money. Yeah, so you know, that impacts you too. So, you know, but again, I mean, you know, you want to pay attention to that, because we're going to see some players who might say, hey, you know, why were they cut? You know, but hey, that also could be a reason too, that we may not realize it's about the money too. So let me get caught up with the chat. Jacob, what's up, man? How are you, man? What's going on? Thanks for tapping in. So she ain't coming. Oh, you saying Juju ain't coming out?
Yeah, because she tore ACL and all that. Yeah.
I mean, there's that strong possibility.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, she making more money in college, but I know.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. If she's going to be the number one, she's going to basically have the year off. She still will be the number one overall.
Right.
She don't even have
to play ball next year. She don't have to play ball next year. She
still will be the number. I don't know anybody that would go over her. Even with a year off, I can't even think of it, because
what's the name from UCLA? Depending on who needs a big man. If somebody needs a big body, a center, they might, you know, take her.
Oh, coach, we talking about the Valkyries. They need every damn thing.
That's the thing.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care if Betts come out, if Juju come out, Juju's gonna get number one over anybody. Nobody's taking. I don't care who they are.
That I did, but
no. I know what you're saying. I know. I'm just saying, even if she don't even play.
Leaf, I think they have a draft. They have a draft lottery also. So the Valkyries still might not get the number one based on that. So again, we can see. But again, Breezy, thanks for tapping in, man. So appreciate you. Bro. Ghost Dog, man, thank you. Salute to all the tribals, man. Thanks for being here. So, again, everyone, make sure you guys hit the like button on all our channels. Leaf Diggy, Man Cave, myself, the Aboriginal Sports Network, the Hardcore Sports Network. There's a lot of great content creators there. We'll cover everything from you, not just women's basketball, NBA, NFL, baseball, wrestling. Getting into hockey. I mean, we cover everything.
We do it all at the ABS.
Yes.
We definitely do it all at the shout out to everybody that subscribed to my page and everybody. Hey, I ain't gonna tell y'all no more. 300 subscribers, bro. It's my last time saying it.
Let's get it.
Listen up, man. It's free. The old
I don't know what it is, man.
Free is for me. It's free.
$3.99, bro. I don't know
what it is, bro.
And think about that. We bring you content. You know, we take our time to bring you some great content, get you interacted. That's why it's like, you know, like, hey, let's go in. You know how many people I follow? It's because I'm saying it's free. It helps them out. I understand. And sometimes, you know what? They do give me some good content. So there you go. So, if you like how we speak on the mic, smash that. There you go. Man. Ghost Dog is definitely, man. I'm telling you, he bring you some.
Shout out to Ghost, man.
Ghost, I've been loving Ghosting. Keep it up, bro.
Exactly. So again, you know, let's get Leaf. Let's keep him growing. Let's get his page growing. Yo, I'm telling you, he brings you some great. And when we get into the games, I'm telling you, man. You know, we really get into, you know, covering his game. So I'm telling you right now, ahead of time, May 17th, I'm doing a double header. The first game is the Liberty hosting the Aces, and then the second game is the Fever hosting in Chicago. And it's at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and it's going to be right here on all the channels that I'm talking about. So I'm giving you a heads up right now. There you go.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, we're going to have a watch along and sit back and enjoy.
I want to give a shout out to Disney for picking up the contract for the new WNBA games, because they will be doing some WNBA games. They will be doing the Vegas Aces game, and I'll try to do as many Liberty games as possible, being that I actually live in Brooklyn and I'm gonna be closer to the Barclays, but I'm trying to get me some tickets. I need to pick me a Western Conference team to do it. I was gonna pick Seattle last year, but they pissed me off. So I'm gonna probably dig into the Sparks, man, because they got all the PYTs. So
look. I might still be covering Seattle, man, because they still got my girl Skylar Diggins, no longer Smith. Skylar Diggins. So you're saying there's a chance.
I listen. I look. I put it to you this way, man. Listen. Listen. Much respect to Skylar Diggins. I've been. Obviously, we know about her name since Notre Dame. Skylar Diggins. She's been in the league. She, great veteran, great point guard in the league. But yeah, it's open. Door open.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. I'm like, yo, how you gonna mess that up, bro? What the heck?
I'm like, yo, you fumbled at the 1 yard line and you messed that up, bro. Like, I don't even know what happened, bro. Like, listen,
yo, he said that news came out at 1 o'clock in the morning. God, brothers is up to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Brothers is up at 1:30, bro. Like, yo, what?
How at your boy, Skylar? How at your boy? Yes.
Hey, listen.
Yeah. So, but nah, I got you. I understand picking up a West Coast team. So yeah.
Yeah, man.
I got you definitely, man. Minnesota, I think they can make another run at it. A lot of people do Vegas games. I'm staying as far as away from the fever in the sky. I don't want no parts of that right now. So,
gonna be some late games. Them West Coast be some late games.
Oh yeah, they do. But I think that's right around my time. I'll be in the crib already, and I can just do my thing.
But
so,
don't forget. We talked about it last time. The WNBA League Pass for the whole season is what, $35, $34?
I know you said that, man. Yeah. It's something like that, bro.
That's a win-win that you get.
Definitely getting that,
games. Man. It's like, because when you think about the NBA, it's like, what, $300, close to $300. I mean, come on, man. So it's like, when I saw
NBA is about about 180.
Shout out to NBA 2K, man, for giving me my free league pass too, because I get the game every year. My little cousin, he want to play it, man, so I get the game. But shout out to NBA 2K because they get the free league pass with the order, with the pre-order and everything. So shout out to them.
That's what
I hope they start doing it for WNBA, but if it come out in the summertime, maybe. But they'll do like the full calendar year as opposed to just the season. So shout out to them. Exactly. Shout out to NBA 2K for delivering on that.
So all right, so we've already covered the early cut. So let's move on to the other one, which is early injuries. Which is a part of sports. If we're all fans, we all know it. I was looking at Katie Lou Samuelson, who, left Indiana and now she's with Seattle and she's out indefinitely with an ACL. Megan Gustafson, I can't say Gustafson. Yeah, from Las Vegas. She has a leg injury. She's out indefinitely. Aaliyah Edwards with Washington. She has a back, but she was only 2 weeks. So
contusion, right?
But the back is a lingering thing. I know from experience. So also rookie with Washington, Georgia Moore, ACL. She's already out. Yeah. That was another rookie from Minnesota, Aubrey Griffin from UConn. She had knee surgery, so she's out, and she already had the injury ahead of time. They knew it, but they still drafted her, and she's out indefinitely. But what's you guys' thoughts on injuries like that? I mean, how impactful do you think it is when players, especially so close to the start of the regular season? I mean, we have literally 11 days. How impactful do you think it is?
I'm gonna say from the women's side, it's a little bit more detrimental from the women's side, being because anything could happen, like anything could go left with in terms of like the recovery and the recovery time. And the recovery time might be a little bit longer. We seen Paige Bueckers in college. We didn't know what her timetable was, but she was able to keep her head and came back and won a national title and became #1 pick. And now Juju is starting that same process. But just to go over the injuries, I think the injuries, those ACL, those back injuries for women, those is different than it is for men. Men, like, I mean, a lot of players, a lot of high-level athletes in the NBA and in the NFL, they could get back in, like they say 6 to 9 months for ACL. These boys is back within month 5, month 6. Because they going to guerrilla training just like that. With the women, I think it's a little bit more of a delicate approach, man, when they have those injuries. I noticed Cameron Brink is going to be out a little bit longer than a lot of people thought she was going to come back. It's just a different body types when you get those injuries, man. Like it's different. It's very very different with women. So when women get these
Mm-hmm.
injuries, man, these is freak injuries. I'm only expecting high level male athletes to get. I'm not expecting these on the women. I'll be honest with you. But and when you say it, it's just like, and then when you see it, it's just like you cringing even more. So definitely wishing a lot of these women a healthy, speedy recoveries. I know it ain't gonna be speedy, but I'm definitely wishing them healthy recovery, full recovery, for sure.
What about you, Cave? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. As far as the Georgia Amore, I was like, she's Washington the Mystics, right?
Yeah, she's with the Mystics, and she just got drafted.
That's a big blow for them because I mean she was going to be a big piece of their team, key player, and then you got Aaliyah Edwards out too, so that's going to be bad for them. That's going to be a slow start for them because two players they were really counting on, and not to say Edwards is going to be back, but the point guard is the most important thing. So it's like now they're gonna have to like scramble to see what's going to happen and stuff like that. So and she's out for the season. She's going to be out for the season because of the ACL, right?
Who, Georgia Moore? I think they said indefinitely.
It's an ACL.
Yeah.
And that's a sad part because she
you really think Juju gonna crunch her way up to the #1 pick on that stage after sitting out a season? I don't know.
Bro, let me tell you something. People don't care about that, man. It's like, because they know the type of player she is when she comes back. They know that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll pick her. I don't care if she's gonna sit on my bench for a year or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that I got the best player coming out of. No, I mean
I read Shorter for a year for sure.
Go ahead, Kate.
No, what you're saying? Don't forget what?
Don't forget the NIL because she'll make more money with NIL in college.
Yeah. But as far as like I said with Georgia and more, it's like and then like what Leaf was saying with the ACL is like for the men's is more drastic for the men's because they use that for the explosion and hops and also women. Yeah, they got the explosion little hops, but they really don't you know what I'm saying. As far as like use it for like ups and all stuff like this, so it's a little bit more lenient on the women and stuff like that. When they come back and also they could just work themselves slowly into it. Whereas the men they hit the ground running and they trying to like it's just like
I get what you guys are saying, but I think it's more detrimental to the women because don't forget a lot of these women play internationally. That's where they make their money. So with that injury, that takes that money off the table. So and the ability to train because with the men, don't forget they make a lot more money, so they can hire personal trainers and the medical staff, and they can get the recovery process that some of these women, if they're making $50,000-$70,000 a year, they're reliant on the organization. Now, if the organization gets them the coverage because they're in the contract, fine. But if they're on a 1-year contract and you're out, then it's a different process. So and then if you play overseas, and you're making $1 million, you can make $1 million overseas as opposed to 50 to 70,000 in the United States. While you want to be home, that money talks. You don't want an injury like that. So that's why I look at it
for the women, for the financial part,
it's detrimental there, exactly. So, but you guys make some great points and great arguments, and I do agree with you there. So, and everybody in the chat, you guys let us know what's your thoughts in terms of the injuries. We talked about early cuts. Do you know of one? Make sure you guys engage with us and talk to us in the chat. Give us your thoughts and your opinions also. So, but that's my take on the injury. So, last thing we're going to talk about before we get ready to get out of here is with the preseason game starting. Caitlin Clark, she went back to Iowa recently and they played the Brazilian team. They drew 1.3 million viewers. A high at the peak was 1.6 on ESPN. Now that tells you that people want to see her, and it was a blowout. I was looking to try and see what it was because Brazil also played against Chicago. So I was trying to see, and trying to compare the two in terms of, what did they draw for Chicago because of because you have Cardozo playing against her national team. So, but again, with Caitlin Clark out there, and while I looked at the Brazilian team and I was watching them and I'm like, I'm sorry, they didn't deserve to really be out there, but I get it's a preseason game, it's a work. But Caitlin Clark back in Iowa, her neck of the woods, playing in front of her home crowd. I understood why, and again, it's Caitlin Clark, so people are going to tune in to watch her, and everything. And plus, I wanted to see Indiana because can they really be a title contender? And they're going to be a tough squad, but. Did you guys happen to see the game, and what's your thoughts on the amount of viewership that they drew off of that game, a preseason game?
I would say though the viewership just is contingent on the fact that Caitlin Clark is the quote unquote meal ticket of the WNBA. That's just the fact. I mean, I know a lot of people, a lot of Chicago Sky people that's interested in the Chicago Sky. And a lot of people that's on YouTube that digging on Angel Reese, they're not really all 100% on board for that. But the truth is the truth. The truth is in the numbers. That 1.3 million speaks volumes, man, for a preseason game against Brazil. And the only person that they know is like Caitlin Clark. For the whole time of the last 3 years, he kind of gives you a Indiana like a Hoosiers type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Midwest
it's really
feel,
that with her. Yeah, it's a Midwest type of feel, and Middle America could get behind her easily. You know what I'm saying? Like they can really get behind her easily, and they could really be drawn in. I mean, obviously the fan base could be toxic at times, man. What fan base ain't? But I mean, but at the same time, those views 1.3 million viewers on ESPN against Brazil in a preseason game. I mean, the NBA. Then listen, the NBA is basically a license to print money, but they ain't drawing that much. They ain't drawing that much in no preseason game. I could for sure tell you that. There's no way. Unless Cooper Flag is going to turn into the next best thing to us since Larry Bird, I don't see it happening. But Caitlin Clark is basically the meal ticket of the WNBA, and this new CBA and everything moving forward is going to be contingent on that. By the time she leaves this league, the women that should be coming in should be getting basically double or triple the money that they're getting now. And it's going to be because she led the way of that pack. I just have to say that.
Okay, what's your thoughts?
Man, I thought the WNBA did a great thing, man. And the thing that nobody really realizes, having those games played at those college campuses was a big thing, especially for them former stars. Like Angel Reese game was at LSU, Caitlin Clark game was at Iowa. That was a big draw for the WNBA, and they capitalized on them, man. So kudos to the league on that because, them college atmospheres are great, especially for them players, man, to go back and play. In front of those fans that was supporting them while they was in school is a big thing, man. The NBA don't really do that, but the WNBA, that was a great thing, great draw for that preseason, man. Like I said, I know they already got the hype for Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, but I think that added even more to playing the game on the college campus because if you played in the regular stadiums, yeah, it is, but at the college campus a little bit more and stuff like that because, there's a lot of college fans and also the WNBA fans, so that added to the mystique and all that stuff, which is a great draw. So kudos to the WNBA for that, man.
I agree with you guys, and like I said, when I saw that with 1.3, and don't forget at the peak it was at 1.6. So for a small portion of that game, 1.6 people were tuned in to watch that game. So that speaks of the impact that Caitlin Clark and the Fever are going to have, on this upcoming season. So you're going to get a lot of viewership to see what's going on, and if they can make a championship run, that's also going to add into what happens in the WNBA, leading up to the collective bargaining. So, and look, man, how many games are already on premium TV for the Fever, man? That's right. Volumes right there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they damn near got all but maybe 4 of their games on the schedule that's not televised. If I had to say, I mean, the Fever is in high command.
That's a small market team.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a small market team. The Fever, they might raise the stock of the Indiana Pacers. Or like, why with this rate that they on, bro? Like they might be, if the Indiana Pacers go into the shitter tomorrow, but which obviously they won't. But if they go into the dump tomorrow, bro, like the Fever's gonna be the talk of the town. Even if the Indiana Pacers mess around and win the East, which we all know ain't happening, but
But you look at it. You look at it from what the WNBA doing. That's like even the NBA players is trying. Like Donovan Mitchell want to bring it the women's game to Cleveland. He's seen with the men's, and the women, like the Pacers they got with the Fever. That's a good combination. And other NBA players looking at to bring them teams back. Like Portland, Cleveland, Charlotte, all them things. Yeah, man. So it's great for the league, man.
Absolutely
Happy for these guys.
What's up, Nikki? Another great content creator, man. Definitely knows his stuff. He's a Philly content creator, but definitely gives you some good content. Definitely when he's covering, as you see his avatar with the Sixers. So thanks for tapping in, brother. So miss you on the Pick and Roll podcast, bro. So, but you guys make sure you tap in. There's Nikki Steves out there on YouTube.
Shout out to Nikki, man. And the 76ers need to be on trial for what they did this past season, by the way.
He said just had to put that in there.
They need to be on trial by the FBI, the DEA, get Homeland Security up in there, everybody, bro. Like they need to be on trial. They need to be punished.
Man.
I'm not lying.
There you go. No, I know you mean it. You don't like it, but it's. Hey, look, I get it.
Ridiculous.
Are they? Look, let's see what happens at the end of the game. So, Nikki, typically, yes, most Sixers fans say the same thing. Yeah, so, look, we can make an argument with Embiid. Why did they let him play in the Olympics?
That's the Olympic. That's the Olympics need to go back. The Olympics need to go back to practice.
Still ain't get answered. That's a question that still ain't get answered because the fact that I knew that they were going to send out the invites. Kawhi hadn't been no business being there. Joel Embiid had no business being there. They brought in Jason Tatum and they did not play him. They put him on the bench. This is somebody who won a championship. Now I've been on record about saying what I've been saying about the Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum for that matter. But damn all of that, man. That he deserved to play in them games. And because of Steve Kerr and optics and basically a whole bunch of politics, I suppose that he didn't. So and everybody's been walking around the streets today, bro, been all happy or whatever. Listen, the away team that played between the hours of 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Yesterday evening, bro. Listen, what you have done. You have earned yourself 48 hours. You earned yourself 48 hours to get right and make peace, whatever you need to go and make peace with. If you go to church, pray to somebody because in this next week, this series is over. And we all know it.
We're not gonna go there. We're gonna leave it there. We're gonna bring it back to the ladies before we get out of here. So one thing, we talked a little bit about Olympics, and I'm glad you did. Hey, I'm looking forward to when the Olympics come in. Caitlin Clark better be on that roster, man. She better be on that roster. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it this time now. I understood as a rookie. I did. Her and Angel Reese, they both better be on that roster, man. So, because if not, we need to be raising holy heck as to why both of those players are not on that roster. Angel will get you those rebounds, get you double-doubles. She's expanding her game. Giving you more of an offensive game, and hopefully she will. I forgot that in high school she was a guard. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she was in Baltimore.
So it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, she was a guard, yeah.
So that just tells me, you know what? Let's develop her guard game and her guard ability. She can see the game, read the game, and make the right reads when necessary. But now she can also get double-doubles. And then, of course, Caitlin Clark, man. Those two together on the same team, it's dynamic, man. And I'm looking forward to it. So, but, hey, I'm putting out my early Olympic feeler. So
by the time the Olympics come, they're going to be the face of the league. So you ain't got to worry about it.
That's a fact.
I think it's going to be 3 or 4 players. It'll be those two, Jujo, and maybe Bueckers, depending on how her game continues to develop. So.
Absolutely, I think those are the 4 faces of the league going forward. By the time they get back to Olympic play, they will be the head of the snake. They will definitely be the head of the snake for sure.
Yes.
There's no doubt in my mind. No disrespect to Asia and Nafisa, man. I think they have done everything that they can do on the Olympic stage. I think they've done everything in college there is to do. with Angel being a champion, Nafisa playing in UConn and what she has done. But this league belongs to those young ladies going forward. So
And
4
I'm
or 5
excited
years from
for it.
now,
Yes.
that's what it's gonna be.
Hopefully my girl Diamond can get her game back on track and she can be one of those ascending young players too. So but again, that's for the future. So we'll be keeping track of that going forward. So but let's get ready to get out of here. Leaf, what you got going on this week? Let the people know, streams, whatever the case may be.
Well, nothing really this week. I haven't really scheduled any of the preseason games. I probably should have, but I'm definitely ready for the upcoming season. To get I'm gonna do some little traveling by the end of the month. Hopefully, man, I get everything right. But on the Monday the 12th is a day that is either going to be a really good day or going to be a really day that I'm going to get extremely upset. That this is the time where the fate of my organization is being put into the hands of the NBA, and I don't like it.
Got you. Understood. What about you, Cave? What do you got going on this week?
I'm busy, man. I got the Knicks going on. So I got a real team to go do a stream tomorrow night. So I'm gonna be busy. So I'll be on tomorrow at 7:00 tomorrow night. Watching a real team play in the playoffs for meaningful game. You know what I'm saying? So I got a lot to do. So make sure y'all tap in tomorrow at 7 p.m. tomorrow, man, and watch the Knicks and the Celtics for game 2. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks, we took game 1, but we're going to try to be a little bit greedy, you know what I'm saying, and see what we could take that game 2. Because, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to let the Celtics shoot like 75 threes tomorrow. Let them shoot 75 threes tomorrow. I'm good with that, man.
All right. Well, as far as me, I got I'm actually got to double check with NYG, but we're supposed to do.
Hey, you do know y'all won y'all last game of this year, right?
Whatever, man. We're not gonna get into that. We're not. I'm trying to keep it right where it is. So, but yeah, mostly he did say real team,
New York.
But this is about the ladies. I'm trying to keep it there and not go too far. So, but I get it. But yeah, tomorrow. Heart of the city. You got to double check with NYG.
Oh yeah.
That's supposed
to. Shout out to NYG, man.
Yeah, supposed to get that tomorrow, Thursday. I have the pick and roll podcast right here and on the Hardcore Sports Network. Don't have anything for Friday. Saturday, we're trying to see if I'm doing another episode of the halftime coaching adjustment. So we just did our first one back last Saturday, so it'll be Saturday, probably about 1:30ish, somewhere around there. And then, of course, on Sunday, we'll be tuned in for Giants Conversation. And then Monday, I'm going to be releasing another episode of the Read and Attack sports show. So kudos to everyone that tapped in. I appreciate you all, and going to keep growing it. So that's it. So, but
yeah, I just want to say one thing to Leaf, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Leaf. Hey, May 12th, I'm gonna be pulling for you. I'm definitely gonna be pulling for you guys, man, because I really want Cooper Flag in New York, man. So I think y'all gonna get Cooper Flag. I think y'all gonna get the #1 pick, man. I could feel it, man. I could see it. I know, some people like it ain't gonna happen, but I think y'all gonna get the pick. I think Cooper Flag will be great in New York, man. So I'm pulling for y'all to get that one.
I think I don't want the NBA doing us any favors. I think the pick
they ain't gonna do you no favors. I think it's just gonna happen.
I said, well, that's them doing me a favor, and I don't like it. Then that means that means my franchise is indebted to the NBA front office. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of it. I believe so, man, because I watch too many forensic file shows, so like you can't pull the wool over me, bro. Like, but I definitely do want Cooper, but within that aspect, I hope that we are able to get him. I think the tank that we did this year was absolutely pathetic. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was very, very awful. I don't know what the hell we were doing winning 12 games before the trade deadline. We should have been at like 8 wins. We should have been absolutely poo. And we're going to be absolutely poo again next year, even if we do get Cooper Flag, because we're looking to get Ant-Man must have dunked on somebody. And we're looking
Mitchell.
Oh, Donovan Mitchell must have dunked on somebody.
Yeah.
But next year we're looking at AJ DeMonster also. He's
I know.
BYU. So once we do that, we can stop tanking and take back the city that belongs to us.
Dylan Harper, keep Jersey home. Keep Jersey home. That's all I'm gonna say. Keep Jersey home.
I like, you know what, Coach, I like him. I think he is the template for point guards going forward, bro. Him. I think Ace Bailey, he has superstar potential written all over him. Dylan Harper, I think he can go very far in this league. However, I just don't think, and this might be a crazy take, I just don't think that Dylan Harper is the guy that you want to be responsible for picking over Ace Bailey, because to me,
I'm going to say this.
I'm gonna just say this: it gives all the symptoms of picking Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan.
Yeah, all I can say is this: if you want a little bit more, you know what? No, his game is very similar to Cade Cunningham's. That's all I'm gonna say to you. So,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, and look, those both of them are my boys from Rutgers. So, you know, and you can't go wrong with either one of them. But Dylan, Jersey boy, you keep him home. You know, it's going to build up a nice little rivalry right here in the Mecca for basketball in New York City, Brooklyn and New York City, and it's going to take it to another level. That's just my opinion. That's what I want. Look, you can say all that stuff, but what I'm saying is I want the eyes of the NBA on Brooklyn and New York. That's what I would love, you know, and I go all the way back to the old Jersey Nets, man. I'm talking about going way back to the early 90s, you know, with Kenny Anderson and Derek Harper and all them boys and Drazen Petrovic, man. I mean, you know, and yeah, I'm Jersey, man. I'm Jersey through and through. But I was born in New York, so you know what? I'm tri-state through and through too. So, but you know what? We can keep going on and on and on. So it's time to get out of here. Thanks to everyone for being here. Mosley, Nikki Stees, Ghost Dog, Jacob, Nick Kirtle, Curio. I'm sorry. Let me see. Daniel Burry, Dave. Thank you to everyone for being here and tapping in and engaging with us. To all of you that have been out there, you know, we see you there. You may not have been in the chat, but we know you're out there. You know, just make sure you hit the like on the way out. Come back, rewatch this episode if you missed anything. We appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to us all, man. We really appreciate it. So we'll be back.
Hit that like button. Hit that sub button. Hit that share button. Stop.
Exactly.
Yo, I'm not going to say it no more. Just hit the damn button.
Exactly. It's free.
Yes, sir.
It's free, man. So
I'm done talking.
With that being said, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to catch you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all be safe and have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Full court, we roll. Game on, take control. Full court, we roll. Game on, take control. Randy in the mix, you know it's a fix. Coach Ed rips, strategies to blitz. Man cave vibes, never throwing a dime. Fast breaks and swerves, rhythms in time. City lights shining, crowd on the rise. East Coast beat, feel the verse surprise. Dribbling dreams, hustle hard, no regrets. Welcome to the court, it's your move, place bets. Neck diff Brandy got the crowd so hyped. Coach that guy and every play's in sight. From the block to the three, every shot's on point. Man cave energy, we ain't gonna disappoint.
All that I know, really, I feel defeated.